Welcome folks to your puppy homeschooling. So just a little bit more information you'll need to know going forward over the duration of the course, mostly about dogs. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the type of training that I used. It's reward-based training or science-based training. So I intend to have a little cameo here, look. Good boy. Now, get down. Down, Blackie. Get down. Down. Good lad. Yes, so it's reward-based training. So I tend to, and it has been scientifically proven that works as well. So I'm no way harsh on dogs. I'm actually very soft with training the dogs. And I kind of don't tolerate or train people that are anyway harsh with the dogs at all. So if you kind of think of it this way, when you get your new puppy, they're taken away from their mother and landed in a brand new place, new house, new surroundings. They don't speak English, they can't tell you what's wrong, they can't explain we can't explain to them what we want unless you get professional advice. But again, the proper advice. So I want my dogs happy and happy to learn, rather than offering behaviours through fear. A dog that offers behaviours through fear is always in fear of making that mistake, so they get punished for doing the wrong thing. But the way I do it is, again, scientifically proven. It's science-based training, and it's a short term for reward-based training. So the simple thing is, I reward behaviours I want, and I ignore the behaviours that I don't want. Obviously, there's other stuff that we can do as well with the behaviours that we don't want, which we'll probably touch on over the duration of this course. So that's the type of training that I use. It's reward-based training. The next thing we're going to talk about is how dogs actually learn. So we've all the different types of dog breeds, all the different sizes, all the different colours and shapes, but they all have the one thing in common. They all learn the very, very same way. Some dogs might pick up things a little bit quicker than others, but every single dog on this planet learns exactly the same way, and that is through association. What do you associate with different things? So the simplest way for me to give you an example is, if I was teaching my dog to sit and his bum hits the ground and I give him a treat. So straight away with that dog, positive reinforcement, he starts to realise or associates that bum on the ground gets him something nice. So that way he's wanting to do that more often, and he's happy to do that more often, and he's not afraid to try and do it more often in case he does the wrong thing. So again, he starts to associate that bum on the ground with getting a treat, which is what we call positive reinforcement. So that would be an association to something positive happening to him. So on the opposite way, we can easily make the mistake of getting rid of really good behaviours unknowns to ourselves by ignoring good behaviours. So a simple example of something like that would be, maybe you're walking down the street with your dog on the lead, and you meet one of your buddies, and your dog sits while you're talking away to your buddy, and 2 minutes could be passed by, and your dog is there sitting quiet as a mouse, not bothering anything, absolutely amazing behaviour, and being totally ignored for it. So after a certain amount of time, the dog will start thinking, right, the behaviour that I'm doing now is not getting me much. So he's going to start again associating, meeting people, sitting down for whatever length of time, not really working for me. There's nothing happening. So he's going to start trying to do something else. So he might paw you on the leg, or he might bark, or even might bark even a couple of times. So he's going to try all these certain little things to more or less get what he wants, which is some sort of positive reinforcement. So for that 2 minutes that we ignored him, all we had to do was look down and say, good boy, good girl, and give him a rub, rather than totally ignoring that brilliant behaviour that he was offering in the first place. So we have to be thinking along those sort of lines as well when we're training our dogs. We're always on the lookout for them good behaviours. Often enough, we're always giving out, oh, he's doing this, they're doing that, they're doing that. But the important thing is, if we can get to the good behaviours on time, all these bad behaviours fade out. So again, if anyone has any questions or finds this hard to understand, just post a question underneath this video in the group. So it's very simple. Dogs are very black and white. They'll do what works for them. So if they sit and they get a reward for it, now over time we fade away the food, and it could be rewarded with a tap in the head, or a good girl, or a good boy. They're sort of rewards as well. So it won't be always getting reward. It could be a ball or a toe tie or whatever it may be. But again, they're going to do what works for them. So, and what they associate with the different things. Right, so that's how dogs learn. And remember, all dogs learn the same way. Only some dogs might pick different behaviours up a lot quicker than others. Right, the other thing we're going to talk about is motivation. So again, dogs are like us. We need to be motivated to do stuff. And how we motivate the dogs to try all these different behaviours that we want them to do is by the types of rewards that we use. So for instance, if I had a dog that's not really he's not a big eater, he wouldn't be mad about his food, and I wanted to train him to sit, but he's obsessed with tennis balls, well then that's his motivation to learn these behaviours, a tennis ball. And it could be the opposite way around. You could have a dog that has no interest in ties at all, but is obsessed with food. So his motivation to do these behaviours is going to be food. But again, most dogs like their food, like they're not going to starve themselves, they're going to eat at some stage. And I tend to, when I get a puppy first, they get very little food from the bowl at all. Any food they get it from my hand, but they're getting it for learning things. So I'm kind of creating that special bond between me and the pup, that the pup wants to be around me more because all the goodies are coming from me, his food is coming from me, his water is coming from me, and we're teaching him the different behaviours that we want. So again, motivating your dogs, really important as well. So rewards again, and the types of rewards. So I'm gonna join, say, rewards, the types of rewards, timing and distractions all in this little comment. Because they kind of all add together. So rewards could be food, tie, attention, a dog's lead could be a reward, opening the back door could be a dog's reward, to go out and have a run around. So there's countless things that you could reward a dog with, but we just need to know how to use them right. That's rewards and the type of reward. So timing Timing is really, really important, because dogs, they don't live in the past and they don't think about the future. Dogs live right here, right now, what they're doing this second. So for instance, if I'm teaching a dog to sit and the dog puts his bum on the ground and I'm rooting around for a reward or a treat to give him, and it goes past 3 seconds, that's it. The dog doesn't realise why it's got the reward. So the dogs, whatever behaviours we want to reward them for, they need to be rewarded within 3 seconds of them doing that behaviour, or else it's gone. Again, dogs live right in this second. What they do this second, whatever they associate with this second, that's what they're going to remember. And it also can have a negative effect as well. So for instance, maybe you have a young pup and it's a very windy day out, and you're in the kitchen or in the sitting room or whatnot, and someone opens the front door and maybe the sitting room closes with a big huge bang. So that second, and the dog gets a fright, he's going to remember that and probably show signs of being afraid of the door, and then that will gradually build on to noise, and them sort of noises that the door made. So it's really important, again, at puppies, a young age, they try their best. I know it's not always possible, but you try your best to give them a positive experience with every single thing that they do, whether they're out on walks, in the car, anything at all. The more positive experience your puppy has, the less problems you're going to have as an adult dog. But again, things happen in the environment that are out of our control, so we just have to do our best. So again, dogs live in the now, and they associate this second, whatever I do this second, whether it's a positive or a negative experience, they'll remember it. And they might, depending on how bad of experience it is, they might remember it for a very, very long time. So again, timing really, really important. Right, distractions. This is probably one of the killers for dogs and learning behaviours outside the home. So what I tend to hear a lot is when we be doing classes or whatnot, and the owner asks their dog to sit, and the dog just stares standing looking at them. And every person says to me, he's no problem sitting at home. The minute I say it, he sits. And that is correct to do. But distractions for dogs are absolute killers. It could be a leaf blowing in the wind, it could be another dog, it could be them sniffing a pole, it could be people in a park playing with a ball. All this that's going on in the environment around them, they're going straight from their house, maybe into a busy park where everything is happening, and they go from 0 to 10. So dogs are just not able to function going from 0 distractions, say to a park, a busy park where everything is going on. They're just not able for it. So we need to build up the level of distractions slowly. So anything I teach my pups in the beginning is taught in the house. Then I do every single thing out about in the backyard. Then we might go for walks, practice them there, but I go for walks where it might be quiet. There might be some distractions, but not an awful lot. And I gradually build up the level of distractions that the dog is always learning and always able to focus on me. So I'm not going from in the house here and then into a busy park where everything is happening and I'm calling me dog and they're totally ignoring me because they're just not able. It's gone from 0 to 100 for them. So it's really important to build that level of distraction up slowly so that they're always learning. Another thing I'll just touch on is generalization. Dogs are not really very good at generalizing behaviors either. What I mean by that is I'm sitting on the chair here. So if I went over to the shed and there was a chair there, I would know what the chair is for sitting on. But if I teach a dog sit here in the kitchen, and I went down the field and asked him for a sit, he would just look at me, because they don't generalize behaviors very well. So all the behaviors that we teach the dogs, we have to practice them in loads of different areas to generalize every behavior that we teach the dog. And then gradually gets easier and easier and easier. So having a puppy is brilliant. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's easy. If we want a sound, solid adult dog, now is the time that we need to put the work in. If you put the work in, then you're going to have a good, solid, sound dog, adult dog, in time. And again, these things that we'll be teaching over the duration of the 4 weeks, these are ongoing. So even with my own dogs, I'm constantly training, even though I know this, that and the other, the environment is always changing. And one example of that would be that, what day is today? Thursday. On Monday I was walking my dog in the usual places where I walk him in the forest, and there's a lovely walkway all around it, and I just had one of my dogs with me, and we walk there nearly every day, and everything is more or less the same. On Monday, this fella came out of the woods rather than out along the footpath. I don't know what he was doing there, but he came out of the woods and the dog spotted it and straight away started barking. For the simple reason is that environment that he was used to, that was always nearly the same, had changed, and he just wasn't expecting that at all. So he let one or two barks, but he was fine then after that. But that's what I mean, the environment is always changing, so we're always training with the dogs as well, trying to give them that best chance that they deserve. Right, so that's enough talking about the type of training, how dogs learn, motivation, rewards, reward types, timing, distractions, and generalization. An awful lot in to take it in. That's why I try to post this video on a Friday, so you can look at it a couple of times over the weekend for when we get started on Monday. So the plan for the 4 weeks is on Monday morning you'll get your first lesson. I'll put up a video of me teaching the first part of the first lesson. I'll explain exactly what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and then I'll post it onto the group, and you have until anytime Wednesday to do your homework and post your homework on the group, and then I'll give you feedback on that video. Now, the important thing with the lessons is that when I give it on Monday, you need to practice it on Monday, you need to practice it on Tuesday, you need to practice it on Wednesday, and then send in your video. The dogs are not going to learn, and you're not going to learn, if I post a video on Monday and you don't do anything until Wednesday just before you post the video, because I know by the dog whether there was many sessions done or not. But if you want your dog to learn, it's repetition. So then when the videos are in on Wednesday, on Thursday morning, I post the second part of that first lesson. Again, you'll have until anytime Sunday to post your homework, and I'll give you feedback on that video again going forward. And then on Monday morning, we start a new lesson with the first part of the second lesson. So that's basically it, folks, for now. If you have any questions on this, just comment below. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy the course and get some stuff, good stuff from it. Take care.